greatest moment I've seen. This is history being written. Amazing.
Welcome back, footy fiends. They call me Arsenal because I start off on top and finish second. Welcome back to the Footy Fetish Show, where the fetish is real and the footy is soccer. We fill those holes with balls and call them goals. Today on the show, we got to recap a little Champions League. Got to do that with a special eighth wonder of the world. What's up, Osha?
Yeah! Back on the mic! With the Mike Daddy. Pleasure to be here with you, Mike Daddy. Love that joke. Love that intro. No, this is a good start to the episode already. We got Champions League Leg 2 quarterfinals tomorrow and Wednesday. Booty, who's playing tomorrow?
Man, we got some screamers tomorrow. And before we start that, I do want to apologize to Gunner Mike and all of our Arsenal fans out there. Shout out to Chelsea, who loves Chelsea, though, who sent me that joke. Of course, it was a Chelsea fan that sent it. Great stuff. But tomorrow, let's pull that list of games up, shall we? Whatever's getting those pulled up. We got some screamers tomorrow. We got some shockers from the first league. I will say I was kind of shocked at a few of these, man. If we're talking about, I wasn't surprised about Chelsea and Real Madrid, which is tomorrow. We all saw that. The only thing I was a little upset about on that one, which we'll get to in a second, is I did have my Benzema hat trick bet just ready to roll. He only got me one. I was really thinking it was going to be a little crazier. But before we get into that one, let's start it off with this one. Wasn't necessarily a surprise either way, I think. But Napoli Milan, baby. Ocho's going to take it away for us here in a second. But your boys, Milan, they're up 1-0. But they're going to Napoli this time, heading into Naples, into the Maradona. What are you thinking, Ocho?
Well, for starters, last time we were in the Maradona and played Napoli, we won 4-0. That being said, they didn't have Osimhen. He is rumored to be back, which can't think lightly about that. Osimhen's had probably the best season of his career this year, and doesn't look like he's slowing down. So it is going to be definitely a bigger challenge this second leg around, especially being in the Maradona. With that being said, I think this AC Milan team is a stronger team from top to bottom, specifically because of the I think it's at least two players who are suspended. Yes. So you have Kim Min-jae, and you also have Anguissa. Two pivotal starters in the spine of this Napoli team that will be out. And the replacements are not the strongest. You're going to have Ndombele, who came over from Tottenham recently. And then you're going to have Ramani. Jesus. It's either one of these. I'm actually not sure who's going to start. But you have question marks in the center back. On top of that, the Napoli fans are still a little disgruntled about the management increasing the price. On top of that, the Napoli fans have been attacking Theo Hernandez and his firstborn child. The latest that I was seeing, the rumors, was that they were giving death threats. When the AC Milan bus pulled into Napoli, they were, throwing their beer bottles and chanting "fuck your wife" or something like that. So, depending on what kind of player Theo Hernandez is, this could fuel him to be an absolute beast, or this could really mess with his psyche. From what I've seen and the personality he is, I think this was the wrong move. You're poking a bee's nest here. And then asking them to come into your house. That's just not smart as a fan base. I don't know why you would think that, especially when you rip on somebody's child. It's just not a smart move. On top of this, the Napoli fans were doing the typical fireworks outside the hotel of the away fan, at 3, 4 in the morning. So there's all these factors going around. With that being said, I think AC Milan can pull it off. At least have a draw. A draw puts them into the next round as well. So look for just an absolute fireworks show here, because I think both teams are going to be kind of open in that regard. AC Milan were a little bit more hesitant. I rewatched the game, and a lot of their passes were backwards. If they felt pressure, boom, backwards. Goalkeeper, center back, play it through the back. Be patient. Force them to come forward and try and take the ball, and then quickly counter. There was a lot of that, which had a lot of success. As you know, that goal that Benacer scored was absolutely beautiful. It was on the counter. Shout out to Brahim Diaz, who split two defenders and took it the long way. So I'm really excited for this. I'm probably going to take off work to watch this. What are your thoughts, Booty?
And always a good one to see, two rivals playing from a domestic league as well, especially stakes this high. I definitely like, what you point out, of course, the elephant in the room. No OC Min last contest. Special K, as I like to call him, he's kind of doing all the work on his own. Definitely was a different story.
Right.
We don't have that big man in the middle to feed the ball to, man. One of his things I've noticed throughout the year, obviously, is you can play those air balls to him. He does a hell of a job finishing. When you lose that presence, you don't realize it until it's gone. Tear. It's something beautiful. You don't realize it until it's gone. Definitely was something I'm sure that could have helped. At the same time, also, as Ocho pointed out, something to remember the last two times these two teams played, Napoli was actually missing a bunch of their fans when they were actually at the Maradona last time. That was a whole big ticket scandal deal. So it'll be interesting to see if the fans will make a difference this time. Like you were saying, they kind of already have. It's tough though, man. Like you don't ever want to like you were saying like fuck with me all day, but like started bringing like kids and stuff into it, and I don't know, starting to get a little weird there. So I'd be pretty pissed off, but also we'll see if that, like you said, if it fuels him, or if it's if it's gonna fuck with his head a little bit. I'm feeling like Milan kind of have this one. At this point, I feel like this is one of those ones where they're definitely putting the eggs in the Champions League basket. Something Ocho forgot to mention that we were discussing today on the side. They actually decided to rest a bunch of their players. That's always a great sign right there to show that they're all in, man. They're all in. So that's a great sign. Also, if I'm not mistaken, this will be Osimhen's first game back. You don't know if he's going to have a little rust. You don't know if they're rushing him back a little too much. Also, in Napoli right now, it's kind of the opposite, where they have the foot on the gas for this league, for Serie A. So are they going to go as hard as they can for this? It's tough. It's hard not to when you're playing your rival, right? But it is going to be pretty tough. I'm gonna take Milan to finish this one out, man. I'm thinking they draw this. It's a draw, and Milan moves on the aggregate.
Okay. Looking at these odds over here, Sportsbook on FanDuel has got Napoli as the favorites with a minus 140. I don't believe that's very good odds, is it?
No, it's a very slight favorite. Very slight. Yeah.
You've got Milan to win at plus 410, and you've got a draw at plus 270. I'm kind of with you. I could see Milan pulling a draw or a win here, more leaning towards a draw.
Like I could see maybe Napoli getting the one goal, but then they're going to go to extra time or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Wow. I didn't even realize that.
Because no away goals now. By the way, for you folks out there, no more away goal advantage on that aggregate. So
Great aggregate. You either get it or you don't.
Right. So I could see Napoli coming out getting that one goal, but also if you're Milan, I mean, all you kind of have to do is just hang in there. Just hang in there and hang in there as long as you can.
Right.
If you can do that, you can get out of there, man. And, hey, you take them to extra time or PKs, you never know what's going to happen. So
confident we'll handle it in regular time, but you are absolutely right. It could go to extra time here. I forgot about that second leg feature.
I just feel like we always see that a lot with these second leagues. A lot of I feel like it's the Mike Tyson, right? You go out there, everybody has a game plan, and they get punched in the mouth, right? I
Heard
feel
that.
like that's so true in these second leagues when you start to get deep into Champions League, deep in these knockout stages. Everybody's got a plan until they blow the whistle and they kick off. Then all of a sudden I feel like everybody's got 4 different game plans in their back pocket. Every coach. So it's I always hate trying to predict a second leg of any contest.
Yeah,
You're going to see everything and anything.
that's right.
And I think that's one right there that it's so close that you're going to see everything and everything. So
it's crazy. I'm so glad they took out the home away goals. I believe there was a time when Juventus actually won their second leg. They drew on aggregate, but then lost the overall tie between the two teams. And it
yeah,
was
I
just
think
amazing that could happen as a result of a win. You know, So
I
it's good.
remember there were memes and everything where it was like I
Yeah.
got to explain to my kids how they tied this game one on the like
Won the
it's never
game, tied on aggregate, and then lost the tie, and don't get to advance.
yeah
It's like,
yeah
okay,
I kind of liked it. Yeah, I was 50-50 on it. There'd be some times where it just made it that much more dramatic,
yep,
but it also kind of gave a team who maybe wasn't as strong that little advantage to move on. I could see where it was fair and unfair, I guess.
the thing for me is you're now punishing a team for winning, which
Right, right.
doesn't make sense, and it's like you're punishing them because they won but allowed a goal at home. It's like, I mean, technically the goal differential is the exact same. So, why is that the tiebreaker? So I'm glad they also got, well, at least I don't know if your opinion, but I'm glad they got rid of this because now you don't punish a team for winning, right? And that's
Right.
going on in the past. And it was like, man, it's kind of fucked up. Like we won the game. Why do we feel like we lost it even though we won?
Right. It also I just hated how like sometimes those teams that were a little more inferior, yeah, sure, because they had one good game, they now get to advance
Right.
to go play somebody like a Man City or something like that, and just get crushed. Like
Yep.
it's just I'd rather see that team that maybe had a bad day but is the better team
That's right.
advance and see the better game.
I'm with
So
you. Yep.
so
Speaking about the better teams and the better game, we got Real Madrid versus Chelsea going to London. This one's going to be spicy. This aggregate, I believe, is 3-0.
2-0.
2-0. Thank you. 2-0.
2-0.
They'll be going to London on a 2-0 aggregate. Real Madrid are up. As far as injuries and suspensions, Ben Chilwell will be out. Kai Havertz is doubtful. Loftus-Cheek is doubtful. Chukwuemeka is out. Koulibaly is out. And Armando Broja is also out. Vinicius Jr. is doubtful. Ferland Mendy is out. So, looking at all these, Rodrigo could get the start where Vinicius is, which could be a key factor. If Real Madrid are able to not score goals, then this could lead to an extra time, like you're saying. Because this Chelsea team, while they're brand new, I could see them scoring 2 goals, just like on pure individual brilliance, because they've got players like that. With that being said, I was actually talking to Booty before the podcast about how Chelsea's decisions to sign all these players was thinking as if you were a teenager playing FIFA. And I say that because there's a social aspect inside of a team, inside of a locker room. And when you sign Joao Felix, who is Portuguese, and he speaks Portuguese, when you sign Mudryk, who's from Ukraine and speaks Ukrainian, when you sign Benoit Badiashile, who is French and speaks French, when you sign Enzo Fernandez, Argentina, speaks Spanish, when you sign Anderson Andre Santos from Brazil, who also speaks Portuguese, you're bringing in all of these players whose native tongue is not English into an all-English team with a coach who's got this thick English accent in Graham Potter. And you really think that that's going to be the best mix of players on the field, in the locker room, and moving forward? The biggest hurdle that Chelsea's going to have moving forward is teaching all of those players how to speak English and how to speak soccer in English as well. Because what most people think in sports is, oh, if you're a good athlete, you can play. You hit a ceiling. And until you learn the vocabulary of the sport, you can't bust through that ceiling. That's what I pride myself in as a coach. Teaching players how to speak the game of soccer and use the right vocabulary. For instance, while we're on the subject, the difference between cover and support. One of those is in attack. One of those is in defense. But if you didn't know that, then you would have no clue. Support is in attack. Cover is in defense. And to be able to say those and distinguish the two is a huge difference. Man on. How do you say man on in English? Or, that's something that these players need to know. So until these players can speak soccer in English, they're going to be hitting that ceiling every single game they play because you need to be able to communicate on the field. I think they're going to lose again. Real Madrid are going to win. They've got the chemistry. All those players speak the same language. They've been playing together for long enough. And you got the Don, Carlo Ancelotti, leading the troops. This is easy. Real Madrid go in there and walk away with a win. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, let's pretend like, all Chelsea actually did all speak the same language. I mean, it still takes time for them to even get on the same page with each other.
True.
But the fact is, they don't speak the same language, and they're not on the same page, and we're on coach number 3.
Oh,
and
God.
we got
It's just,
man, it's check mark after check mark after check mark. It was like negative shit. And then you look at the flip side. I will say this: I did follow Real Madrid a little bit this weekend.
Oh.
They actually played a lower tier team. They played against, I believe it was Cadiz. Yeah, so it was Cadiz. I want to say Cadiz is ranked 15th or 16th in La Liga, so no problem, right? Well, can't talk today. Vinicius Jr. doesn't play, so exactly what Ocho was kind of touching on here a couple minutes ago. Big problem for about 70 minutes. They had some trouble. They did not get a goal until the 72nd minute, and then another one immediately following 76th. Benzema had about 9 shots that just weren't going in. So right. So it makes you wonder, how much they're going to miss Vinicius in this one. Because hey, even though it is Chelsea, it's a bunch of new guys. As Ocho said, they got guys that can score goals. Something that might get overlooked from the last matchup between these two. João Felix actually had a damn good chance on goal and a 1-on-1 at that. So Chelsea can create some chances if they need to, if they can hang in there. But with all that being said, I really think it's tough to just beat this Real Madrid team on any day, at any time, anywhere. Because I always feel like if it's not Benzema or Vinicius Jr. that's gonna have a good day, they always have someone else that steps up. Guess who was the guy that took Vinicius' place in this game last Saturday against Cadiz? Asensio. Who gets the first goal? Asensio. So all it took them was 72 minutes just to figure it out. That's all. So I mean, it's always somebody, man. It's always somebody with those guys, man. That's why I hate them so much. They just always seem to find somebody. Modric never seems to get older. I don't even think he played this weekend, so they were resting him up. It looked like.
2 minutes.
You got a little bit. So
yeah, but you were right.
So yeah, always dangerous crew, man. Always dangerous crew. Like I said, man, they're now my betting gods. Okay, so I just don't bet against them anymore. I'm just gonna bet them every single time until they start getting spanked a bunch, and I don't know when that's gonna be because I've been waiting for that to happen for like 10 years, and it's just not happening. So, it's quality. It's royalty, man. Real Madrid is royalty for sure. I'm gonna take Real Madrid. I could see Chelsea finally getting a goal though, man, and props to them. I know I give them a hard time every time, man, but it's starting to be a little embarrassing right now. This hole they're in, man. Um, like anything at all. Like I think just scoring a goal would be great for their form right now. Just some sort of something to show that there's some life there.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
it sucks too. It's like you were saying, man. There's some players there I actually really enjoy watching. I really enjoy watching Joao Felix. I love our boy Cumneck, you know. So well, Enzo.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember.
so I mean, there's people there. It's just not all that's going to fit together right now.
It's going to be time, and they're going to hit that glass ceiling, like I said, until they can speak the language, and then, like you said, learn how to play together
Yep.
under a coach that's consistently there for longer than like half a season.
Right. It's hard to figure out all these things. You know, when new coach, you got you don't have an identity right now, like at
Correct.
all.
Correct.
So it's tough.
Yep.
Can't go for that until I see something different. So
Right.
flip side, you got every single thing of the opposite of what we just talked about with Real Madrid. So
Spot on.
I got to take that. So
Spot on. It's just a no brainer, you know.
yep,
Moving on to the next set of games on Wednesday. I think these are the surprises that you were talking about earlier.
absolutely. So first, I guess we should hit up the Inter and Benfica. Man, that one I did not see coming at all. Benfica went ahead and ruined every parlay I had. Uh, so, um, with that being said, man, Inter is currently up. I can't believe I'm even saying it, but props to Inter. I mean, fuck Inter and all, but props to Inter. They have a 2-0 aggregate on Benfica. I was just very shocked to see Benfica not even score. As hot as they have been, they seem to keep finding those goals, and it didn't happen. Man, I did not see this one coming. I think you were the only one to pick Inter, though. You?
Either picked them and then changed my mind to a draw, or picked draw out the gate. I don't know. But I didn't think that Benfica was going to win. I didn't think they were going to win. Even though they were at home, I thought it would have been really good for them to at least get out of there with a draw. And honestly, they almost did it. They were hanging in there. They had opportunities. They had chances, and just kind of got a little unlucky there. But hopefully, coming back to San Siro, they can embarrass Inter. We will see what happens.
It's a good point. I mean, they had 12 shots, but only 2 on target. 58% possession though to Inter, who the typical Italian style, man, like to sit back, let it come at them, and then take it to you when you're least expecting it. Our boy Barella opened the scoring, and then later on, of course, Lukaku comes in, gets he puts away a penalty in his big Timberland boots. Um, but but yeah, man, I mean, it's the same old story with Inter. You don't know where it's going to come from, and it usually ends up coming from the same exact place, Barella. So I feel like we just say that name so many times, and we just always write him off, and I don't know why. So
Yeah, and I gotta admit fault here. Last podcast, I said keep your eyes on Florentino, and there was a specific moment in the game where Barella was actually 1-on-1 with Florentino, and Barella had a fucking disgusting meg on this young midfielder. It's
oh
been
shit,
plastered all over the internet for everyone to see. Champions League shared it a bunch of times. Inter shared it a bunch of times. So, while this player did actually have a pretty okay game, Barella really showed him who the master midfielder is at the end of the day, and wound up being the man of the match, in my opinion. But yeah, it's gonna be difficult. I still think Inter have too much firepower. It's gonna take Benfica scoring early to really put Inter on their heels. If they don't score a goal early, then Inter is just going to be happy to sit back and just let them try and attack as much as possible. I'm willing to bet that Inter get a goal because of this, and then sit back even more, forces Benfica to be more riskier, and then I could see Inter winning this 2-0 again. So looking over at the players that are going to be scored,
Hey, yo.
Nicholas Otamendi will be out. That's a key player for them. They need him. Darmian. They don't need Skriniar, although he's a great center back. And then Hakan Çalhanoğlu is also doubtful. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough going into San Siro. The Giuseppe Meazza to try and beat Inter is just going to be a challenge. But this is why we love Champions League so much. Anything is possible. You only need to have one good game, and you can move forward. And Benfica, they have the talent to do it. So we'll see what happens. What are your thoughts on this, Booty?
Man, I really like Benfica as my dark horse, but I'm leaning towards Inter because of one simple rule. It's never a good hill to have to climb to have to score quick goals against an Italian club. When if this was a 1-0 situation, I'd feel a little bit better about it. But the fact that Benfica is going to need 2 goals to stay alive here, I never like having to break an Italian back line. If and they have to do this somewhat quickly, at least within 90 minutes or so. So when they're doing that, they're leaving themselves vulnerable. Obviously, they're going to have to throw some people forward and get really aggressive, which didn't work for them this past match. So it's going to take something special. It's that same concept. I don't mind it as much if you're climbing that hill and you're also an Italian club going against an Italian club, because maybe you know a little something that we don't, and maybe you've seen this club a couple of times this year, or maybe you know a vulnerability that maybe some other clubs don't know. But the fact is, this is probably the toughest squad that Benfica's probably faced all year. So, fortunately, I'm thinking probably Inter 1-0. They move on 3-0.
Woo! Love that.
Yep.
We know Inter can park that bus like the best of them.
That's what I'm saying, man. Unless you're an Italian club yourself, good luck. You might get one, but I don't think you get 2.
It's going to take a miracle.
Yeah.
It's going to, and it's funny. We say stuff like, oh, I can never help but remember the Barcelona PSG.
Yeah.
I remember PSG went up 4-0, and you're like, oh, this is over. And what did Barcelona do? They win 6-1 because of the away goals. They had to get one more. It was like, oh my God. Could you imagine being Barcelona and winning the game 5-1 and still not advancing?
That
Right?
okay. That
That's
one.
fucked up. That's
That
fucked up.
that was fucked up. And then I always think of the Juve and Real Madrid one where they're down 0-3, coming off of the Ronaldo bicycle kick. I remember being like, I don't even want to watch the second one. Like it's gonna be so bad.
Yeah.
And I remember Stat Boy Matt Boy was at work too. He's just like, you're not even watching, dude. I was like, man, this is just fucked up, dude. And then of course, like, Mandzukic gets a goal in 2 minutes, and then another one in another like 20 minutes. So you're like, well, damn, dude, this is possible now. This is fucking possible.
Yep.
So it always is.
And it was that one PK that saw Buffon get the red card, right?
Yep. And then once he got the red card, you're like, it's a. I remember, I think it was like Alexi Lawless or somebody was kind of joking about it, and I was literally thinking the same thing. He's like, man, old Chesney came in there like fist bumping, like, don't worry about it, bro. I got this. And I was like, dude, no, you don't. Like, I'm gonna save a Ronaldo PK here in Madrid.
And that was the start of the Juventus goalkeeper downfall right there. That moment for me.
Yeah. I think he even picked the right way too, which was funny because it was just like, you're still not getting it.
There's only been one goalkeeper that I've seen stop a Cristiano Ronaldo PK, and it was Gianluigi Buffon. Gianluigi Donnarumma. And it
Oh,
was
Donnarumma did?
it was Juventus Milan. Ronaldo gets a PK, and I don't know if you remember, Donnarumma got just enough of a tip on the ball that it saw the ball hit the post, the upright, and then the ball went across the net.
I think that was the Coppa Italia.
Yeah.
And it was like a drawless shootout that they went to. Yeah, something like that.
But that PK was in the game because that rebound whizzed past a Juventus defender or a Juventus attacker.
Oh, yeah.
And if he doesn't tip that ball, Cristiano puts it in off of the post.
Oh, yeah.
It hits the post and goes in. And it was just like, oh.
I remember thinking, like, damn, Donnarumma is just he's a big daddy, isn't he?
He's a big daddy.
He's a big motherfucker.
Yeah. Just a PK monster. I mean, gosh.
Imagine him giving you a hug. He could crack your back in like 15 places.
His girlfriend's a little bitty girl, too.
Oh, man.
Damn.
Poor her for multiple reasons.
Yeah. Sheesh. She's probably loving it, though.
Starting on top and finishing last. Anyway. What's the
big surprise from leg one there, Booty?
Man, Manchester City just trouncing Bayern. 3-0. I really thought Bayern would at least get one. But man, they sure didn't look like they were in that the entire match, I'll tell you what. And it just goes back to what we've always been saying the last few years, really. It's Manchester City all over again, and they look like they're getting hot at the right time. They look like they might pull off a treble at this point. Pep's now just kind of playing games with himself, and he's even gotten to the point where he can't even outthink himself. He's got so many of the right fucking chess pieces here at this point. It's like he's trying to think of ways to outthink himself, and he can't even do that anymore. So, what was this fucking lineup he came out with the last match? What the fuck was this again? I'm trying to pull it up now.
Are you talking about the 2-3-4-1?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and to have the nerve to do that against Bayern too. I mean, it's starting to get out of hand with Man City, and it's fucked up because if you usually think about it, they usually start the season really hot, right? And then they kind of finish a little sloppy. It's seeming like things are the other way around this time. Or they're starting to get hot at the right time.
Right.
I mean, other than Haaland, but he's been hot since like 5 years ago and hasn't cooled down, So, I mean, it's getting nasty. And now he's just starting to play games with people, I feel like, with these formations, man.
I will say one of my biggest criticisms against Haaland was if he can do it against the big teams. Because we always saw him beating up on the little teams. 9 goals against Honduras really isn't like an achievement. After you get 3, what's 9? It's the same thing in my mind. But we finally had to start to see him score goals against good competition. Excuse me. And this Bayern backline, even though they had to deal with Upamecano's really poor form, De Ligt has been absolutely stellar this season for Bayern Munich. And Jan Sommer is no joke. We all know this. This dude's he's elite. His age might be catching up to him, but Haaland for me has jumped over that final hurdle in which he's scoring against titans. He's scoring against tier 1 competition. And this could be, like you said earlier, what Pep was missing. This could be that final chess piece. Not to mention Grealish is on form, right? All last year, Grealish got a whole bunch of hate because he was the $100 million man, wasn't able to produce. Now he's that dude. He is now a threat going forward. And, has pushed Foden out of the lineup. When before, they were both kind of fighting for that left wing. You didn't know who was going to start it. And then, like you said as well, Pep couldn't even outsmart himself. He has a formation that actually works. And credit to John Stones, by the way, for being able to slot in as a center defensive mid and make this all work. This is I got to give Pep credit here. This is a very unique and brilliant formation. I don't think we'll see another team be able to pull this off because no one has this quality of players that has this much utility to be placed all around the pitch. I don't see Bayern really posing a threat here. Not to mention, when we look on the Bayern side of the ball, new coach can obviously see that there's some struggles going on. On top of that, there was rumors that Sadio Mane punched Leroy Sané in the face immediately after the game. So you can see that the locker room is fractured. This is going to be tough for Bayern Munich to come back from. I got Man City winning this, no problem. 2 goals, 1 for Haaland.
Yeah, I was actually just looking to see. Let's see what those odds are for a Haaland goal because it's starting to get to the point where you have to, if you want to make any money, you just need to bet on 2 or 3 Haaland goals. So if that isn't something ridiculous, right? Oh man, this dude is getting out of control. Yeah, wow. Where's it at? Where is it? There it is. It is. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, you could say that Holland will be the first one to score a goal. Those are pretty decent odds.
I'd take that.
Plus 340, right? Anytime scorer, yeah, he's negative 105 right now. So, I mean, it's just to the point. Just bet him to get 2 or 3 goals. If he gets a hat trick, he's only plus 1800. Like, I mean, Benzema was like plus 2500 against lower competition last weekend. So I mean, it's which I took it, by the way. But yeah, man, it's starting to get a little wild over there. I'm thinking City is going to do it as well. It's a really shitty ending for Bayern. Really thought they were going to at least put up a fight, but it's looking like it's going to take something special to put a fight up against this team, unfortunately.
Yep.
So I'm going City to move on. Going. Move on to another one.
Quickly want to look at the who's in. Chopu, and then for Man City, you have Phil Foden out. The odds for this game have Bayern Munich at plus 170, a draw at plus 280, and Man City at plus 140. So this is actually much tighter on the return leg to Bayern. I did not anticipate that. Real quick as well, going back to Inter Benfica, plus 110 for Inter, plus 250 draw, plus 250 for Benfica. So you could do well with a winner or draw with Benfica.
For sure. I feel like that Inter Benfica match is a good one to do some prop bets. I think we might have touched on it last match, but or last episode, but something like shots on goal, maybe for like João Mario or somebody like that. And then of course your Man City one. I'd feel pretty comfy taking Man City and a Haaland goal. The only thing that might get slippery with that is if someone other than Haaland scores first, they might take Haaland out early.
No,
I disagree. You just keep the foot on the gas.
Because what's going to happen is it might be a little selfish, but Haaland right now he's on a mission to break records. He wants to score as many goals as possible. There was the game over the weekend. I had to make a decision Thursday night. Is Haaland going to start? If I'm Pep Guardiola, do I start Haaland? Do I risk having him injured? And I thought, you know what? Pep needs this. Sit Haaland. Guess what? He started and scored a goal. He might have scored 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling, and this is why I disagree. I have a feeling that Haaland is like, Pep, I'm good to go. I'm a fucking bull. Let me run. Let me score goals. And Pep's like, okay, go get some goals, son. Have fun.
Dude, I got a good bet for you to throw on this one.
Go for it.
De Bruyne. There's a category for to score or assist.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's minus 110 right now, but I mean, pair that with a Holland goal or something, or even maybe take City for the win.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, they got. I feel like those two matches right there are a good little. They get some good little prop bets going on. You just kind of got to do some detective work.
So check this out. I went to go look into that City game. Holland
Yeah.
played the first half, 2 goals, pulled them.
Okay.
Yeah, game's over at that point.
Yep.
John Stones as well. So you can see that Pep. You can see that Pep really.
Oh, Feppy.
Oh, Peppy.
Oh, Feppy.
You can see Pep values those 2 players the most here, as far as importance. I don't know if you can. No, you can't see that.
I just thought about whenever Bundesliga Pundaddy would text me Mbappe, it would always autocorrect it Mboopy. So we just whenever we mention him now, last few times like we've ever talked about him, it's like, oh yeah, dude, Mboopy, I'll get you that Mboopy. You need an Mboopy jersey? You got that Mboopy jersey we're giving away? Old Holland. John Stone's looking really hot lately too.
Yeah.
He's having himself a nice little string of games.
Do you see what's going on here? Look at this. He's got Kyle Walker as right wing.
The man who has played, I don't think there's a position Kyle Walker has not played.
That's true.
Because we all know the time he came in as goalie, yeah.
Right, we've seen him in the goal.
That dude, just throw him anywhere. Just throw him anywhere somebody's hurt, It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't recall him. I want to say there's been some times where he's thrown him on a wing like that before. And
Right.
I can't recall many times that we've said, wow, what a shitty game from Kyle Walker.
I agree. He always brings it. He always fucking brings it.
He does, man.
Quality player. Where did he come from before City? Was he at Tottenham?
That's a hell of a question. I can't remember him at all before City.
I know he was at another
English club?
Yeah, he was in the EPL. You're gonna find out. You're gonna learn today.
Let's see.
Yeah, it was Tottenham. Wow. Tottenham, Sheffield, QPR, Aston Villa.
Damn. So all EPL.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, because QPR was Queens Park Rangers, but they're in championship right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
actually, hold on, dude. Check this out. So Tottenham owned him in 2009. So he was at Sheffield. Tottenham bought him from Sheffield, and then Tottenham loaned him out to Sheffield. Tottenham loaned him out to QPR. Tottenham loaned him out to Aston Villa. And then he went back to Tottenham from 2011 to 2017. And then Man City bought him from Tottenham.
Shit.
Wow.
I guess that explains why we couldn't really remember where he was at. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was not a shot at Tottenham, but it could be. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, because, yeah, prior to 2017, it's like Tottenham or pretty lower tier EPL. He's probably the better player on a weaker team.
You know what's crazy? In his whole career in the EPL, he's only scored 8 goals.
That's weird too. You'd think, even though he's been thrown around all these positions, you'd think he'd fuck around and accidentally score a couple here and there.
Right?
He kind of looks like a Steph Curry, like took steroids and started fucking getting some tattoos. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, I see that 100%.
Especially that last picture where he kind of had like a little fade going on.
Here, right here. Oh, this one.
Oh, dude, yeah, there he looks like he could be in a horror movie or some shit. It's like, girl, don't look behind the curtain. Oh shit, she looked behind her curtain. Yeah, man, shit. Now I want to bet on this, and I shouldn't.
I'll do it.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to. I need to take a break from betting for a little bit. It's been rough times. You have some high and some lows,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we got all we need to to see here. I think it's time for a couple shout outs. Ocho's going to go ahead and go first.
I'm going to shout out one of my fellow coaches, Luis Valladares, who I just found out over the weekend went to Alabama, went to a tournament on the Gulf Coast, and they won. Long story short, but how they won was impressive. So he was off coaching. I was getting ready to leave to come record the podcast, and I saw a whole bunch of the dads that I'm really friendly with, and I went, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Hey, congratulations! Heard you won your tournament." In seconds, and I was like, "What?" And they said, "Yeah, the other team, they went up, they tied us 2-2." And the boys looked at the ref and said, "How much time is left?" And the ref said, "You got about 10 seconds." And what was really interesting is the parents remember one player and one set of parents from the other team that were being loud and obnoxious, just dickheads. And when they, all the parents like looked to that parent, all the Luis's parents like looked over to them and were like, "Yeah, fuck you, yeah, take that," like not like rubbing it in, but like just jacked up, because like you love to see people who are assholes like get defeated. I don't know what it is. Like you can be a good sport and cheer your team on. Don't be an asshole,
Right.
So it was funny. The boys, like, they kick off and it was like pass, 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 goal, game over. Woo! Like, I was like, I'm sitting there getting chills, listening to them tell me that. I'm like, this is why we love soccer, because shit like that can happen. You only need 10 seconds. Bang! Goal! Woo!
That's all you need, baby.
Man, I had a whole bunch of Christian Brothers boys on that team as well. One of them who recently lost a final. And so I was glad to hear him be a part of, like an epic final. That's going to be a final that sticks with him for the rest of his life, So, yeah. So shout out to Luis and his 2012s. I think they're 2012s.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Way to fucking go, Luis.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one of these times he can come on our show and actually talk about soccer.
For real, bro.
I haven't held my breath, though.
No. I tell you what, he has got some of the best banter that I have ever heard in my life.
Oh, yeah, he's a funny dude.
That man can fucking banter with the best of them.
But I wouldn't know because he doesn't show.
He's a no-show.
He doesn't do the footy for the show.
Who's your shout out, Moody?
Man. Let's see. I'm gonna shout out 90 Day Fiance. I fucking hate you. It's a show that I started watching and it's complete trash and I can't stop now. But it's a great filler for when you only have 30 minutes to do something and you're like, I just need some shit on the TV in the background. Oh man, it's fucking fantastic. Don't ever start because it just doesn't stop. And I've actually there's a couple other podcasts I've actually heard people say this shit too. They're like dudes like us, where it's just like I have no business watching this fucking show, and then I did, and it's just like downward fucking spiral. It's like a fucking just fucking K hole, like fucking just heroin hole of just fucking trash. And I
Why
just
is
can't.
it so entertaining? Why?
Like, because there's just idiot fucking people, which is always entertaining, no matter what what the setting is.
Yeah.
And it's all these people. They meet somebody, and then like next thing you know, they're like literally lying to themselves and saying how in love they are and shit, just so they can get the K1 visa, so they can get married, so then the person can move there, and then like 9 out of 10 of those people are just trying to move to America just to get out of the shithole country they're in. So like, it's just big revolving door of like you see the train wreck happening, and they even see it too, and they just can't stop. And it's just like, and then by then you're just like, okay, now I need to see how this ends. I just need to see it. I just need to see it. Like for example, I'll throw one out there. I won't use any names. There's a dude from Jamaica, okay, and he works at a fucking like nudist fucking hotel, okay. So it's like on the beach. It's a swingers fucking hotel, all right. this chick meets this dude. She's from America. She's all, she's like, it's really down on herself and everything. She got in shape. She's loving life, everything, She hooks up with this dude. She gets pregnant. So then you're like, I gotta know how this ends now. And of course, it ends how you're thinking, where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there for the kid. I'm gonna do this." And day comes where she's in the hospital. She's there by herself. Oh, well, I'm gonna name the kid what he wanted to name it because I just wish he could be here, and I know he will be here. 10 months later. So he's still in Jamaica. See what I mean? You saw this train wreck happening from like day one. But you're like, I just want to see how much of a complete, just worthless asshole this guy's going to be.
I have some opinions on this that I'm not going to speak on live.
Yeah, good.
I'm just going to leave it there.
Yes. There's, let's put it this way nicely. There's blame to go around in every direction on that. On every single direction. And then you're just like, oh, man. There was another one I'll end with really quick where this chick was from Russia and she straight up just didn't give a shit what people thought about her. She straight up said, I'm here for the money. The dude lied to her and said he was a millionaire and he went and bought her a Maserati even though she didn't have a fucking driver's license. So, I mean, it was like, I want to be mad at her, but also I'm kind of like, hey, man, she told you she wanted the fucking cash. Like, it's like, man, how much of a piece of a shit could both of y'all get to? Like, god damn. Fuck this show.
I'm gonna be honest, I would turn that off quick.
Oh, I've tried, my friend. It just pulls you back.
Nope. See, there's so many other things that I need to catch up on. Like I just saw Ted Lasso yesterday from the episode from Wednesday.
Oh, don't get me wrong. There's certain times where I'm just like, all right, this has been quite enough, and I need a break. And then I'll go to Ted Lasso or something reasonable or something meaningful, like, or even like educational at a certain point. I have Discovery Plus. That's the problem. There's tons of Discovery Plus's problem is this. My real shout out is Discovery Plus because fuck you, because 90% of your shows are actually like educational, right? But the 10% of your shows is 90 Day Fiance. So I'll be scrolling through that shit and then I'm gonna watch Abandoned Places and we talk about some history. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I need to know if this bitch gets the Maserati. And, it's like, oh, I hate it.
I actually met a Brazilian in New Orleans that pulled that off with an American woman, where he actually had 4 kids in Brazil, somehow made it to America, convinced this girl to bear his child, got her pregnant, they got married, and in 6 months, they were separated. And now he's in America, living the dream with his, whatever, the visa, the marriage visa. Doesn't really see his kids that often. It's just like, wow.
Dude, there's a couple of them where the dude is like in his 20s and like in Nigeria, and he's marrying like a 60-year-old woman who's like 400 pounds. And you're just like, okay, I really hate to draw conclusions here, but I know what you're doing.
Yeah. She probably does too, but she's probably enjoying the attention while she gets it.
Exactly. Dude, every time it's like I just want to yell at both of you. I really do. Yeah.
Humans are complicated, man. We're a complicated species.
There is a good bit of Brazilians, and you know what? Like there is a couples that like they're legit. Like they really met each other and they love each other, and it's fucked up because the whole process of them getting this visa is fucked up from those idiots that do the other dumb shit that we're talking about. So it's interesting, and also and every season always comes down to where they get all these couples together, and they've all been watching each other's stories, so they just all talk fucking shit to each other, like mad shit. Yeah, that's the best. So it builds up to this big fucking colossal fucking throwdown of hate at the end.
Oh God.
Yeah, you see? And you're like, "Ooh, I can't wait till that one talks fucking shit." Hate that fucking show. Dude, and there's different ones too. There's ones where like Americans go there, like to the foreign countries, and then there's ones where like it's only in the Caribbean islands, and that's fucked up in its own way. Because like those people are just like on a different mindset, dude. Those people are like they have no like other way of life other than the shit that's in front of them, you know. And a lot of the Americans that go over there kind of don't understand that concept. So it's you know we got a motherfucker who is complaining because they can't go to the grocery store, and a motherfucker who's never seen a grocery store. So it's it's a lot of lines get like intertwined and shit. So yeah, very interesting show. So
I'm gonna pass. I got.
yeah,
Appreciate
please,
that.
yeah, don't do it. Like seriously, keep doing what you're doing, dude. Don't
Yeah.
don't look down that road.
Oh man.
Well, shit, man. Champions League tomorrow.
Shit.
It's gonna pop off. Until then, hopefully Arsenal can find their ground and please stop this pep train. But it doesn't look like that's happening.
Hey man, it all comes down to April 26th.
That's right. So there's only, or I saw, so City has 3 games left, and Arsenal 2.
No. It's
Or are they
there's
caught
like
up
8
now?
games left between the two of them. I
Okay.
think Arsenal's got 7. I think Man City have got 8. Arsenal are only up by 3 points, I believe. So
Okay.
if Man City win, they're tied on points, but then they play each other. So
Right, and that's the 26th.
that's the 26th.
Right.
So if Arsenal can win that game, they hold their destiny in their own hands. But if they don't, then they have to hope that Man City loses.
What's going on with the FA Cup? So City's still in that one, right?
I honestly don't know, but I would bet that they are.
Yeah. Because I feel like they're still in all competitions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man City, Sheffield, Oh, see, now that one, that's right before their game against Arsenal.
Oh, so yeah. So do they go all in?
I would assume you do. Man United are also in that.
Okay.
That's going to be interesting. So you could see a Man United,
Man City final.
Yep.
Who does United have to play?
Brighton.
Okay. So shit. Brighton might give them trouble.
Brighton has been a fucking surprise to everyone.
Yeah.
Season.
Yeah.
Been
So
very
shit.
refreshing. Do you know who Matoma is? Have you heard of Matoma?
Yeah. He's on Brighton right now?
Quality. Yeah. What a player.
Well, there you go.
Whew.
That's your next so rare card, man.
Oh, I actually won him as a role.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You said.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, this dude, fuck yeah. I was like, hell yeah. Dude, he had a goal, or at least a shot, that reminded me of Ronaldinho. I almost want to pull it up for you. I'm gonna pull it up for you. We're gonna see this right now.
Oh hell yeah. We're gonna sign off with my reaction.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, you just keep him out of the K1 visa process. Where is?
Hold on.
I'm trying to pull up. I was trying to pull up FA Cup stuff.
There you go. Watch this.
Smartly done. Mitoma.
Oh shit! Hold on, you can't see it. Fuck. I gotta share my screen.
All right, here we go.
That's Matoma right there.
Okay.
With Fernandes in hot pursuit, but Mitoma dances all the way through. Mitoma is magnificent. So is the save from Aretha Balaga.
All right, watch the replay from another angle. There he is, Matoma.
What a run this was from Mitoma. Chelsea wanted a free kick. Not a bit of it, said the referee. And then Mitoma, beyond Fernandes,
Oh hey.
Oh
hey.
So what you got to notice here, all right? Look what he does. Right, easy outside the foot. Okay, you see this left foot? You see this left foot right here?
Yeah.
This foot sends Badiashile just flying. Watch this. Oh, slipped.
You saw that lean he put with it too?
Yes.
The little lean.
The lean, the shoulder drop, bang. And you can see he's off balance, okay? Watch this. Watch this. This gave me chill.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Same goal. Left, right. Bang.
Yes,
Same
sir.
fucking goal. Or same
Yep.
fucking drive. Same left foot drive, right foot push. And you can see it in slow motion here. He goes, oh, this is him beating Sergio Ramos, by the way. See ya. Goal. Incredible.
Man, I miss those little Barca jerseys too.
Yeah, classic Barca's. Anyway, Mitoma, Brighton, Man U, Man City playing Sheffield United in the FA Cup. Don't forget to tune in to the Champions League tomorrow. We got
This has
AC Milan
been
Napoli.
the Footy Fetish Show. The fetish is real. The footy is soccer. Peace out.
Peace
Boy
out.
Scouts. Thanks for the cookies, Girl Scouts.